Good morning. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. Happy Tuesday. Happy rainy Tuesday. It is warm and humid here, but happy Tuesday. Let me get us set up here a little bit. There we go. Something like that, huh? Running around a little bit this morning, but I'm very happy to see all of you. Now let's see who's here. Sorry, my OCD is saying can't be crooked. Pink stripe showing. Let's get that sorted. There we go. There we go. Whew, I can breathe. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. Lisa, good morning from rainy Pennsylvania here, too. I don't know why I thought this was going to be a beautiful day because I knew that the rain was coming from other parts of the country. And good morning in rainy Dover, New Hampshire. Kira, good morning in rainy Plymouth, Massachusetts. I see a theme evolving here. Good day to hunker down and hook. That's true. Good morning, all. Rainy day in the Pacific Northwest. Donna, good morning from beautiful sunny Alberta. There we go. Canada's good. How funny. Carol, good morning. Mom, you are on in Granby. Good morning. Not a washout, perhaps some intermittent sun, silver lining this afternoon. I hope so. We have some plans this afternoon. I'll have to tell you. We got some silliness going on the week of Jossie's birthday. Oh, I have to advertise. I keep forgetting to advertise Joss's designs, and I have to load her new designs too. I'll do that later today. Let's see. Robin, good morning in Wisconsin. Kirsten, good morning. Marty, good morning. And Crystal, hello in Nova Scotia from a fish tank. Is it humid? Oh, man. M.E. Shelley, good morning from chilly North Carolina. Malia, hello and good morning. Suze, good morning in Kansas. Happy early birthday to Joss, I'll say, right? We're celebrating a little bit all week, as you can imagine. When you're a little girl and it's your birthday week, it's a big deal. She is such a persnickety little thing, too. I have this shirt for her that says happy birthday, right? Birthday girl. And I said to her, like on Monday, yesterday, why don't you wear it to school? It's your birthday week. And she said, well, it's not technically my birthday. And I said, well, I know, but I mean, when you buy a shirt like for full price and you wear it one time and then you're going to be outgrowing it by next year, maybe you should wear it more than once. Wear it at the beginning of the week to remind people it's your birthday week. And then, you don't want to be a dirtbag and wear it every day, but then wear it again on your birthday on Thursday. And she's not having it. She's got to just wear this one shirt on her birthday. She has a little clip that goes in her hair that has like a little birthday cake sticking out of it, like a little Victorian fascinator hat kind of a thing. She's all fired up. You'll never guess what she's going to do this afternoon, I think. Let me finish. Doreen, good morning from upstate New York. Are you going to tell us it's rainy there? I'm guessing it is. April, good morning. Matthew, good morning from sunny northern Ontario. Ooh, see, Canada's doing well this morning. I'm jealous, but it's time. You've had some foul weather. Linda. Yeah, I'm going to look at the ATHA magazine again today because I forgot all my paperwork for the Storybook Cottages. I think ATHA is going to keep us occupied anyway. I have a bunch of things to show you besides that, so we'll have a good time with our heads buried in that book today. Chrissy, great to see you. Happy Coffee Club. Good morning to you too. Catherine, good morning in Idaho. Not a good morning. Let's see, Donna, good morning from Tennessee. Knoxville, right, Donna? Sharon, good morning. Good to see you. You are out walking in North Dakota. I just love the Dakotas. I can't stop thinking about being out that way. I really love that part of the country. Carrie, good morning. I got a nice order last night. I think that might have been you in Florida. Oh, nice. Dave, good to see you. Lots of buddies on today. The weather is keeping people in, I think. Oh, Daphne, hello from North Carolina. Great to see you. A few buddies on from North Carolina. Joy, good morning. Oh, the sun is shining. So good. Jocelyn is so cute. So, last night we were busy. She is a busy lady, and she has got me very busy with this party planning thing. And luckily, I had built years ago with Jay a ton of carnival games, old-time carnival games. We built a little bowling alley, a bunch of knockdown puppet games with vintage puppets, and a lot of vintage stuff mixed into the games. But we built everything with wood and sparkles and bling, and everything looks beautiful still. There's about 20 or 30 games I'll put out in the backyard. Mom, I'm wondering if you can come pick up Buttons the dog, because he will certainly bite people in the backyard the day of the party if he is able to. But she's got me busy with all this, and she's creating her station to make slime and stress balls, and of course she's setting up a station to twist her balloon dogs. I will bring out the free balloon dog pattern on Thursday on her birthday to celebrate, and she will log in too, not at coffee time because she'll be at school, but I don't know if she'll wake up early enough to do it first thing in the morning, and she'll do her video here on how to twist a balloon dog, and then I'll release the pattern right with that video. So that'll be a fun way to celebrate her birthday, and of course her great collection of designs, which is still evolving this week. So last night she helped me. I'm getting ready for the sugar pumpkin class. I lost my sugar pumpkin, but you know, they look like sugar skulls, but they're pumpkin faces. I'm teaching that this weekend in person in Madison, Connecticut, and Joss helped me dye. This is the beginning. We're doing about 5 or 6 times more than this, and we're over dyeing a lot. But she dyed these colors last night, I swear to you, by herself. She was putting, well, I put the dye in the pot, right? She picks the color, I put the dye in the pot. We wear our masks and everything. And she was picking all kinds of purples, really bright greens. They're a bit faded right now, but they're really not faded in real life. Some crazy oranges, and then the robin's egg blue, which we do a lot with the sugar pumpkin. So we're going to do a ton more, and we're going to be doing some over dyeing, hopefully late tonight and tomorrow, to get these ready for the class on Saturday in Madison. And then I'll make some new kits available. Right now, the Sugar Skull kits are, if you buy them, you tell me what kind of color set you want, because there's 4 choices. But I might put some together and just post them with the set already sort of determined with the colors all there. So it was a busy night. We got it done remarkably fast because she is like a robotic salad spinner. We use a salad spinner to dry our wool when we're dyeing, and it makes things go a lot faster. And she really is like go-go gadget robot arm, drying everything. It was so funny because when we were at the water park the other weekend, where I pulled my arm out again and hurt myself, all better now, I think, I saw one of these things in the bathroom I'd never seen before. You hardly ever say that, do you? But tell me if you've seen one of these things, because I'm not sure what it's called. It was a water park, right? So indoor, the hotel kind of thing. In the ladies' room and in the men's room, they had this thing attached to the wall that was like a hole, and it looked like something you would not want to put your hand into, like a garbage disposal. But it showed a picture of putting clothing in there. So I put our bathing suits in there, and then I shut the lid, and by shutting the lid, it activated the spinner. And it dried, for all intents and purposes, the bathing suits were dried. Like all of our soaking wet, clammy clothes got dried that fast. And I thought, this is unbelievable. I have a salad spinner, and where they're like this, spinning as we go, I thought if I could get one of these things that like attaches to the wall, that you just, it was like industrial. Does anybody know what that's actually called? Because I thought, that was just an amazing innovation for someone who dyes constantly. It was a fantastic water extractor. Thank you, Beverly. You have one at your gym. Oh, that's handy. That's handy. I just wonder where the water goes. That's pretty stupid, isn't it? But I do wonder where the water goes. Is it like, I wonder if it's a filter thing, or it's a lot of water coming off of this stuff. I feel like it must be connected to. Okay, so you all know about this. I guess I've walked by machines like this probably many a time and not even noticed, because whenever there's directions on the wall, that's like an instant cue for me to disregard. But I saw someone else use it. I saw her go like this with the lid, and I heard this loud noise, and I thought, is there a wrecking ball coming through the bathroom? And then she took her thing out, and I thought, oh, interesting. What's going on over there? Me and Joss went over, and we put our bathing suits in, and it's fantastic, right? Fantastic. Everybody knows about these things. Panda makes them. Thank you, Crystal. Down the drain. So it needs to be connected to a drain then, right? That sounds a bit tricky. That's the tricky part, isn't it? Interesting. Well, for those of you who dye a lot, this is a great contraption. If you've never seen this in action, like I had never seen this in action, what an amazing thing. And it looked like a fairly simple machine. I like anything that activates when you close the lid on it and stops when you lift the lid up. That seems like fairly foolproof. Would be a huge help in drying wool, right? For you too, Crystal, right? Interesting. To be continued. So I was working on that last night, and oh, Beverly says, I bought a spin dryer for my dye stuff, and you love it. It works the same. And is that like a machine, the same kind of thing that's that powerful, Beverly, or is that more like a salad spinner? Probably not, because you're calling it a spin dryer. It must be something else. I've been very happy with my salad spinner thus far, and I have an industrial salad spinner, so it's a big one, and it can take a lot of pain, and it can take a lot of wool and skeins. So if you only dye occasionally or even once a week, I think the salad spinner is sufficient. But if you are a crazy dyer, and I know you are too, Beverly, you dye a lot, having something that's a bit more mechanical, a little bit more not manpower, would be a nice evolution of things, wouldn't it? What did Kira say? Maybe you could sneak your wool into the gym. That is so funny. That reminds me of the story of Sharon Smith, right, in the condo unit using the laundry, and people getting upset because of all the wool sort of left behind in the filters and stuff, and leaving it on her doorstep. It could be that kind of a sneaky adventure. I do love to be sneaky, don't you? I mean, so, when you know you're not going to be caught, I love to be sneaky. Nothing dangerous, just sneakiness. Beverly says, yes, it's a large unit. It's used for people who live in RVs or camp. Interesting. In place of maybe like the actual dryer. This is such good information. Don't give her any ideas. I know, right? If I was to go into my gym at this moment, which you can tell I'm not, I would do that. I would definitely do that. So, you know, last night I finished working on this Proddy piece, right? I was showing you, I've been working for the November class at Madison Wool on this design that I did in a bit of a hurry, the upside down pilgrim hat, and then I put the centers of the flowers in there with the 2021 to do as a Proddy project, and I was hoping to bring it out as a November kit, which I'm not going to do, but I want to do a new November kit because now I've shown it and I feel like it's real similar to other stuff, and I want to do something very different. I've got plenty of ideas, so it's okay, but I will bring this kit out. And last night I put all the Proddy petals in, so I'm going to show it to you. I have not pressed it yet, so this is not its final stage, and I'm in the middle of doing a video about lettering too, so just ignore this 21 is the way I want it to look down here, right? I want it to be a bit embedded, the 2021. This is what I do, and I'm going to do a video about this today. First of all, let me show you overall. And I'm going to press all of this down. Now, I certainly could have built up the centers of the flowers if I wanted to with more height by just pulling the loops higher for a more three-dimensional kind of Waldoboro look. But I didn't want to do that with this. This is a prototype for a beginner's class in Madison, which will be in early November. I did nail the date down. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you later. It's going to be a Madison Wool's calendar. But I have to, as I say, I have to press everything, and I used a little bit of tie-dye stuff like here. I love this one. And some plaids. These are the over-dyed plaids I showed you yesterday. These are all dyed and over-dyed things that I did. So I'll press them out just right. But I'm real happy with the way it looks, and I do love the pilgrim hat. Oh, thanks, Mom. But you know, I really, you know, I like embedding stuff, right? This goes along with being a sneaky person at heart. I love embedding stuff. So I'm embedding the 2021 like this. It's slightly different, not hugely different, but I like the directional hooking, of course, helps it. But what I'm doing here, I'm in the middle of a video that I'll put out later, where I'm showing you how to, when you are hooking anything that's, for example, a number, a letter, or anything fine and filigree and wiggly, right? It's always best to, and I've said this before, but it's worth saying again, it's always best to hook it huge. Like I've hooked this in probably the equivalent of a 9 or a 10 against my 8 background, right? And I'm partway through the video, so I won't do it live, but the video will be posted later. I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm going to hook it much thinner in my number 5 here. And when I pull this out, it looks like a pig's breakfast, this 20. It's just a placeholder. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to have that little small space there that says the number 20, and it's going to be perfect because I've already cushioned all the background stuff around it. And when I pull it out, there's going to be that little placeholder gap for me to hook in the more narrow size. Because if I don't do this, then all your filigree parts, numbers, letters, whatever, come out quite crowded and distorted and deformed, right? You want them to be perfectly formed. So you want to do something like this when, that's just a tip, when you are hooking small parts with wiggly lines, and it will ensure, you know, and then you just save those big pieces for later. But if you hook them larger first as the placeholder, knowing you're pulling them out, you know there'll be that nice open space ready for when you put the piece that you intend to put in there, the strip or the yarn or whatever you're putting in there. It works great that way. What does the back look like? Here, let me show you. Let me pull it off, Kira. Proddy just looks, you just get one little dit dot on the back where the two leaves, because it's two leaves together, the Proddy, and you just get the dit dot from the middle. So let's see, I haven't even looked at it yet. Hopefully this is not a pig's breakfast while I show it live. Yeah, it's all right. Looks like this on the back. So you can see the placement of some of my Proddy guys. No, I didn't go all the way with some of the Proddy because a lot of the leaves were overlapping. All right. This is the white one over here. So you can see different spacing, but of course it's different sized leaves too. So that's part of it too. Some of the leaves are much larger than others. Some of them are quite small. Some of them look like the pasta, like these guys, right? They look like, what kind of pasta is that? Is that like not tagliatelle, what is that? Bow tie pasta, right? And then some of them are the soft petals, like these rounded ones. I gotta clean them all up. You see that? When it gets pulled through, I wouldn't do it on monk's cloth. Typically, it's just I had the monk's cloth handy, and I had the right size already ready. But when I do them for class, I'm gonna put them on linen because it's just easier to pull through linen. If I were to do it again, I think I'd just do it on burlap, to be honest, because it's never going on the floor, and I don't intend for it to ever get wet. So I would choose burlap because it's super loose, isn't it? But monk's cloth is not a good choice. But I will get in there with my small scissors and just clip all the little hairs and all the little bits and pieces that don't want to sit straight. But I think this is going to be a great pattern. I will put this out probably on Monday, just because I'm about to have a terribly busy weekend. But I really like it. I have to say I really like it. I'm happy with the way that came out. Thank you for encouraging me to continue with that. Because I was so discouraged that I did something that was so similar to something else that's out at this moment. But I suppose that can happen, right? The great minds think alike stuff and all that. Love the shape and the leaves. I've never seen those before. It turned out beautiful. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you, Relda. Oh, that's okay. We'll have you now. That is great. It's a good technique. You know, Proddy is not my personal favorite, I have to say. You rarely see me do it. But I like a little bit of it, and the context matters a lot to me. So I'm not a big one for a giant arbor that's filled in with three-dimensional fluff. I'm not a big one for like any kind of applique techniques. For me personally, it's a personal taste thing, isn't it? So I'm just not big on stuff like that. I did the shiny things, which had a Proddy bird's nest and lots of jewels in there that the bird was meant to have picked up and put into the nest, as birds do. And I think that worked well because context of the nest being all wild and ragged and three-dimensional made sense to me. And this makes sense to me, it being this very sort of austere. What's more austere than a pilgrim's hat? And incidentally, pilgrims did not wear hats that looked like this. This is part of our oral history. But, you know, I like the shape of the hat. I think it's Thanksgiving enough, right, that it translates as being a pilgrim's hat. Could have done maybe a more gold buckle. Maybe I'll change that out. But the bouquet on top is very, very lush. And I like the way it balances against that very austere hat. So I'm really pleased with that. For me, that's about as happy as Proddy at this point can make me. I might change my mind tomorrow and want to do all Proddy for the next 5 years. Who knows what's around the river bend, right? Carrie says, wouldn't even a wall hanging need to be washed, though, because of dust and whatnot? Well, you know, Carrie, I mean, I wouldn't in my lifetime probably, unless there was some immediate problem with it. But I would think no. I mean, I would use the beater on it. I might do the snow in the winter on it if it felt really dirty. But, I mean, with hooked anything, yarn or wool strips, you know your dirt is not getting in between the loops because they're so tight. It's only really hitting the surface. So it just becomes a question of cleaning up the surface. Sometimes I roller it with the lint roller stuff, you know, with the sticker lint roller stuff. I have tons of those. I'll do that. I'll occasionally beat an older rug that I feel can take it without beating the hell out of it, if you see what I mean, like if within an inch of its life. New pieces of mine I would beat. But in terms of dust and stuff, I'm more likely personally to hit it with the roller, or if it was truly dirty because, for example, it hasn't happened and I don't want to jinx it, but the kids like sprayed pasta or pizza or something up and it hit the wall, easy to do, then I would want to either spot clean it or snow clean it or something like that. But I don't think I would with a wall piece clean it. You know, damage happens even to, like, for example, paintings that my sister does. I have so many of them around. None in reach, but I always kind of spot clean the surface with anything. But yeah, stuff on the wall, other than dust, I don't think so. If I see something dusty, I just hit it with the roller. personally, everybody feel free to chime in with that, because maybe I'm a dirty dirtbag and I'm not doing enough cleaning around the house, but it hasn't come up for me with even my very old rugs yet. So far so good. I think probably in the spring I'll take all of my rugs down and take them outside and shake them, if not beat them. And I think that'll be enough. But it'll be a case by case, of course, because some of them are quite old. Yeah, cleaning, the subject of cleaning always comes up. I want to remind you, Judy Taylor, who often logs on with us, the great rug hooking author, she has that new page. Remind me what it's called. It's something very obvious, like, I'm going to not say anything. I'm going to wait till someone chimes in with the exact title. But she started a Facebook page like this past month, and it's all about restoring, cleaning, maintenance, right? Maintenance on hooked rugs. And it is so helpful. You can just tell she's put a ton of time and energy into it. She's extremely knowledgeable, thoughtful, kind, and forthcoming. So, if you have any questions ever, I don't mean you, Carrie, but anybody about rugs they have or rugs they want to restore or maintenance and cleaning, definitely go to that page and ask Judy, because she wrote the book, right? Now I'm blanking out. Save That Rug. That book is called Save That Rug, on all of these subjects, and it's extremely helpful. Yeah, a vacuum is fine too. A vacuum will not pull the loops out. When I hook with my velvet, this sounds crazy, but it is so glimmery, glinty. All these little particles fly off into space, which is great around the holidays. But, other times I do not want that much sort of glint and glitter in the air. And I actually sit, while I'm cutting my velvet with the rotary cutter, I sit with the hose of the vacuum. And I just literally let the hose suck on the velvet strips for a while. I know that sounds crazy, and you think they would be all ragged and ruined, but they're not. It just takes that edge of dustiness off of them, and then I'm able to either use them or put them in kits without them being ridiculously dusty. So a vacuum can work great too. And if your vacuum has the ability to be on low, that's even better, right? Just like a hairdryer, right? Do you remember last year I had that huge ball patch from the hairdryer, blasting it on high all the time? Sometimes things on low is a little bit slower, but I guess better, right? Vacuum is the same thing. Kira says, I used the non-rinse soap. Okay, oh, that's great. The soap just stays in there. Well, there's lots of soaps that would work for that, I think, right? Interesting. I see all these no rinse shampoos lately, too. I haven't been bold enough to try those either. Thank you, Kirsten. Repairing Hooked Rugs, a Facebook group. It is fantastic. Everybody that cares about hooked rugs at all should join, because it's super informational. Very solid info, too. So speaking of solid information and very good information, let's look at the rest of this ATHA. Just one more thing I wanted to show you. I keep forgetting. I'm such a ding-dong. Frida class tomorrow night. The Designing Like Frida class is this week. So the first one is tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and the second time and the last time I'm offering it is on Sunday night of this week. So this is a great design class that will leave you with a bunch of original compositions that are in the style of Frida, which is great for Day of the Dead, Halloween, any time of year. What was her famous saying? Something like Vida la, what is it? Long live life. Can somebody translate that to Spanish? Vida la, I want to say Vida la Vica or something like that. But it's super colorful, electric compositions, right? You're going to end up with a lot of great compositions. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'll be sending out the Frida document later tonight. And it's just a document that you print if you're taking the class. There's nothing to mail. You print, and there's a bunch of cues that we use during a series of games during the class. So I'll say to you, okay, we're going to pause here and commentary and talking about looking at our pictures together and do an exercise that helps us sort of synthesize the elements of who she was and how she worked and what she painted. And we work those into our composition so that we could hopefully use them in the future. Hopefully you love what you end up with. But I'm going to be posting this Frida that I did. And remember, I turned her face into a skull because I am just not good enough at faces. This is the original drawing I did for that. And I also did, coming soon to a page near you, right? This is so stupid. My middle of the night thing is so bad. I have got to sleep better and more. Frida Kahlo is coming your way too. I'm doing a series of animals and costumes, so I had to do Frida Kahlo. So for those of you who are on the Frida class, the document that I send you will include free PDFs of both the traditional Frida in the framework of her portrait. And again, you do it however you want. You are welcome. These are patterns for you to use. These are 2 free patterns. You'll get this one and you'll get Frida Kahlo, in addition to the ones that you design, right? So these 2, this is something new I want to start doing with the Design Like classes. I want to give you the patterns that I did to get you started, just to keep that momentum going. Oh, thanks. I can't wait to hook Frida Kahlo. You see, she also has the unibrow. And you know, nobody's ever making fun of Frida Kahlo with that unibrow, because do you know, she not only didn't pluck it, I mean, she did a lot of like hair removal on her body for sure, if you've seen nude photos of her. So she could have plucked it, but she not only didn't, she enhanced it. She grew it with extra grow products, and she did a lot with mascara and supplementing it. So she really wanted that as part of her signature look. I love this. This is the cow's patterning coming through. I think I'm going to maybe put just a bit more of a bling necklace on it, and on mine too. You need her, Kira. Oh, well, you're gonna get her for sure. Good. I'm glad you love it. You know, I figured, why not? 4 o'clock in the morning thought, plenty of stupidness, but it is funny, isn't it? And it's a good opportunity to hook a cow. That's one that you don't say every day, right? So let's get back into this ATHA magazine for a few minutes. I know I'm going to run over a little bit, hopefully not too much, on a busy week. By the way, Jocelyn's getting her ears pierced tonight. We'll see how it goes, right? Say a little prayer for her, good thoughts, that nothing bad happens, and that she doesn't sort of chicken out after the first one is done. We'll see how that goes. I think she's a little on the young side, but she really wants this. She's turning 8. I'm just afraid it's going to get torn out over the course of craziness and roughhousing, but she really wants it. So that is one of the things that's happening tonight. Yikes, Mom. So yesterday we were looking at ATHA and some of the phenomenal, this is October, November 2021, some of the phenomenal, no, it's not too late to sign up for the class. You can absolutely sign up for it tomorrow, because I haven't sent the document out. I'm going to send it out at some point this afternoon/tonight. When I finish it. And it's just a document that you can either print out with the beginnings of exercises and some things I've drawn that you can absolutely use in your compositions. When you take these classes, the things that I've drawn, you can use those. You have every right to use those. I'm giving them to you as part of the class to get things started, right? They are yours. So that'll come to you on a document that you can print. A lot of people draw and do exercises during the class time in real time with me, and a lot of people just watch, listen, ask questions, and then re-watch later, because only the people who take the class can watch the recorded video later, anytime, ever, and then do the work. So everybody works in a different way, and I never ask you to show what you're working on. I always say, does anybody want to? But I never pinpoint people or call people out, because I know not everybody wants to participate on a huge level and whatever. So participate on your own level, and anything is fine with me. It's super easygoing classes. I know, Mom. Don't say it. Don't say it. I know. When my mom got her ears pierced, the machine got stuck. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping technology has moved along a little bit, and that it will be. She'll be wearing sparkle on her ears. Yeah, she so wants to be a big girl. So I guess this is all right. ATHA, lots of interesting articles. Oh, from Valerie Laughlin, Middlebury, Connecticut, Nutmeg chapter. That's one of the chapters I belong to. Karen brought it to my attention that there is a chapter called The Good Wives, also not just in New York State, but also in Connecticut. So I still have not had a chance, but I'm going to look into joining that one. That'll be my 5th ATHA. But it's worth it, because every ATHA chapter has different speakers, different events, and a different dynamic. That's the most important part, isn't it? Being around a group of people. If you live near many, you're in a wonderful, luxurious position of being able to choose which ATHA you really want to attend. And, you know, the fees are so low for yearly ATHA memberships that if it's possible for you to belong to more than one, you're not only supporting a super worthy cause, rug hooking, right, a traditional craft, but you have the opportunity to go to these different meetings and see speakers, people who've written books, people showing you new techniques, people showing you collections of rugs. I mean, it's very, very good entertainment for the amount of money that it is. So if you can belong to multiple, that's always nice. And it's always possible to go to a local meeting and to decide whether it's for you, because I know I've said this before, you get into any group of women, and sometimes it's a very natural fit, and you feel great, and you feel like you belong, and you can't wait to see that group of people again. And sometimes you get into any group, and you're in the center of a coven of witches, and that can be tough, and you don't want to repeat it. So it's always worth going to anything, including ATHA meetings, to say, how do I feel like this is a good group of buddies for me? Because there's another ATHA that's just 20 minutes in the opposite direction. Try them all out and see which one feels like home to you, so that you can sort of cultivate relationships with that group of people and have hooking buddies and hook-ins and side plans that are all your own. It's such a nice community and such a great organization to facilitate that. Oh God, Carrie says the gun got stuck when I got my ears pierced. Oh, see, this is something that happens, isn't it? Good Lord. I just wanted them pierced, so I did. Oh God. And Carol says, I pierced my own in the 7th grade using a sewing needle. Yep, that's a classic, isn't it? It reminds me of the movie Grease. I wonder if that happened in Grease. It sounds so like a movie that I can't pinpoint. Cindy says, my sister was a nurse in training, and she pierced mine with a needle when I was 9. Okay, so maybe she's at a good age. I know these stories are killing me, Crystal. God, I don't think I'm going to be able to be in there while they're doing it, but hopefully she comes out with 2 beautiful earrings on her ears, maybe sapphires for her birth month. That little darling, right? So this is something that really caught my eye. Colleen Tiefenthal, and I know she's in our group too. I probably slaughtered that excellent name, very stately name, Northeast Maryland. This is a beautiful short, one-page sort of short article that Colleen wrote, and I want to share this one with you. There's a few things that really stood out to me in this issue that I thought were extraordinary, and this is one of them. Inspiration from 1690. Now this really crosses over with our conversation last week about the Queen Elizabeth dress and the lost textile, right, that was found in the remote rural church. This really crosses over with that. And also all of our conversations about the sort of Pearl McGowan school of using crewel work or Jacobean designs in rug hooking. We talk about this all the time. This is a great crossover. Colleen says, this floral rug hooking design is based on an antique garment from the collection of the Newport Historical Society, one of my favorite places. The garment is richly embroidered. It's an early stomacher, which is like a partial corset, circa 1690. And this crosses over with Frida too, right? Because of all of her horrible injuries and chronic pain, she often wore a corset for means of keeping her body where it was supposed to be, the parts that were on the inside. So lots of crossovers with this article. The stomacher was brought to Newport by Margaret Anderson and passed down by subsequent family members until donated to the Society in 1925. I translated the rich original embroidery design into a rug hooking pattern for a pillow. I used reverse rug punching for the background and yarn. So in other words, reverse rug punching is the shuttle punch thing, the thing that moves like 2 plates of the earth, right? For the background and yarn, and then I used traditional rug hooking in number 6 cut for the design. Now that is great. It's great to combine those things because you get the speed of the punch and then you get the sort of detail and accuracy of the hook. So let me show you that close up. This is the stomacher that's at the Newport Historical Society, Newport, Rhode Island. I assume it's Newport, Rhode Island. Maybe I'm just being very RI-centric, biggest little state in the Union and all that. Boy, it does not want to come into focus though, does it? There we go. So this is a beautiful old stomacher. You see, the stomacher is just the front part. It would clip to other pieces or boning, but it's just the front part that would be embroidered by somebody, and then the rest of the garment would be clipped on around it. So this is the stomacher, and this is the drawing for it, and then this is the finished product. And can you see, hope the detail is good enough, that the white background is, you can see it looks like the back of something, because that's the part that's punched. So I don't believe that she did this with the technique that you punch and then you flip, hold it up to the window or light box, trace the details, and then hook the rest, if you see what I mean. I know I said that fast, but I do videos on that too. I think she actually just punched. So we are seeing the back of the punched part. Probably is slightly, sorry, the camera's always reversed. It's enough to addle me. See, the back looks like the background looks quite different from the front, and it could also be a different height. I think that is such an interesting fusion. There's a lot of fusion in this episode of, in this issue of ATHA. Make sure if she has an allergy to nickel. Oh, God. All right, I'll keep that in mind. And Cindy says, just make sure she wears studs, nothing dangly. Exactly. You know, she's so modest for a little girl. She's so modest about the way she looks. Like, I've given her lots of palettes of makeup, particularly during 2020 when we were at home, where she could do blush and stuff and just fool around with. I mean, I'm completely fine with that, and I think it's great if she enjoys making herself up, not to look like a clown or a harlot in public, obviously, but, you know, at home for funsies. And she always makes herself up so subtle that you can't even tell really that she's got makeup on. She's just very subtle. So all of the earrings that she picked out over the last few months in anticipation of pierced ears are very petite. It's just funny, isn't it? Because if it were me, I would be going for like, I mean, I'm from the Def Leppard era, like the big ones with like seed beads and tassels and dangles and chains and whatever. And she's just not like that. She's got a bit more taste, I guess. But this issue of ATHA is very good for alternative sort of techniques. That was kind of foreshadowing that stomacher. But this next article by Sharon Johnston, I used the image of the shoes in the thumbnail for our episode yesterday on Coffee Time, from Calgary, Alberta, has a whole article, techniques using alternative fabrics and needlework methods. Now, this is fantastic. When the hook and the needle cross, should be the title of a memoir, right? Not mine, maybe yours, but I don't do enough with needles anymore to make this work. But Sharon does, and this article is filled with unbelievable techniques. Now, we covered Sharon Johnston because Judy Taylor wrote a book about her, and we covered the book. I just want to show you some of her work that is, go back to that episode for sure if you're interested in sort of alternative methods, supplies, etc., because the Judy Taylor book is amazing. But some of the things that she does, I'm going to show you. I've included. This is muklux. Muklux is another shaped piece of hooked with soft leathers, yarn, and beaded with faux fur sewn on. These are the muklux. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. But you can see partly hooked, partly fur. So lots of needle techniques going on. This pair of boots is what I mean. This is what I showed yesterday, and this really got me going. The glass slippers. Let's look at this close up. Sharon Johnston. Right. I hope that this looks as ethereal and beautiful on camera as it does in real life if you don't have ATHA yet. What I love about these slippers is how she made them. Glass slippers is a shaped piece, so it's shaped hooked rug, right? It's hooked and then it's sewn to a shape instead of a rectangle or a circle or whatever. And it's hooked with clear plastic bags on a painted background. So in other words, she took her backing fabric. She's not saying what it is here. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'd probably go with monk's cloth just because of the color, or bleached linen, so it's nice and light. Painted the background and then used clear plastic bags to hook, and it looks like different colored pastel beads. I mean, how tremendous is that? That just is an absolute game changer to me. They look so old and beautiful, and the colors are exquisite. And it really is a game changer, isn't it? This is a super exciting technique, I have to say. Ooh, Catherine, do leopard heels. Do it! You know, with leopard heels, I'm not going to start, but you could do the same technique of painting the back with the clear bags, but you could also use like black garbage bags, right? That would be so sort of rubbery, leathery looking. It would be so good, wouldn't it? It's so interesting, isn't it? I just think this technique is just a complete game changer. What was I going to do here? ATHA Biennial Teacher Feature with Kathy Morton. There were some beautiful rugs in here too. ATHA Region 7. So this is the teacher who's featured in this. I keep saying episode, but you know I mean issue. Such beautiful work. Kathy Morton. Of all of the featured teachers, oh man, say that 20 times, in these ATHA issues, I have to say this one really struck me. Stuff like this, work like this, are you kidding me? That is so amazing. What an illustrative sort of quality. And the bed covering has that sort of Helen Albee Native American quality or South American quality. There is a lot going on. Very diverse work. Really extraordinary work. Very traditional, right? Really huge mix of things, very broad mix of things. Oh, and then an article about Mary Burrell, who, remember, we did her, what was it, Hooked Rugs of the, I want to say, Northwest? Was it Northwest? Maybe something west. Maybe it was just Midwest. It was Midwest. Mary Burrell, and we were in touch with her, and she was on when we were doing our thing. And she had, I did a cocktail night. There was an exhibit at the Missouri, state capitol of all these rugs. And we took a walking tour through, and I showed you all the different rugs. She sent me all the photos walking through the actual exhibit. So we did a virtual exhibit. It was just super cool. So there's an article on that too, and on the rugs that we've looked at on that Friday night in this episode, in this issue of ATHA. The Polar Bear Trio by Joseph A. Taubes, Des Moines, Iowa. This is amazing. This is amazing. How fantastic and whimsical is that? I mean, really, isn't that so whimsical? The 3 players, the 3 instruments, the 3 notes, that is fantastic. Love the pant legs. I love the legs of the stool. I love the colors. It has that nighttime, jazzy, speakeasy feel. So cool. This is a fantastic episode. I'm not even going to bother to correct myself. Rug hooking in Hungary, the country, with Agnes Durda. I'm thinking that's how she pronounces it, because only we say Agnes in this country. Now, she is an amazing hooker. Introduction by Deb Johnson, Region, ATHA Region 14 rep. And she's got this beautiful article about Agnes, who is in Hungary doing exquisite hooked rugs. And here she is, looking so fun and glamorous. Bring her into focus. And then this is the thumbnail from today, one of her rugs. And you can see, I haven't read the article, I have to admit, I love this seafoam, kind of mint, even pistachio-looking whip-stitched border. Isn't that fantastic? Unexpected on this piece with this colors. Kind of a zebra inner border, and then she's got the whip stitching in this minty pistachio. I think it's so unexpected. But I think lots of different techniques here, because it looks almost Waldoboro. I'm wondering if she does anything with tufting gun, or if she does, I'm thinking mostly punching, right? It looks like mostly punching, but just exquisite. It looks like a very colorful kind of old city wall like you would find in a European capital. So that is a great international article. This whole magazine is great. So yeah, I only showed you bits and pieces because I hope that you are signed up for ATHA. It's such a gift to be able to receive this. All of the articles are wonderful, but those are the ones, for me personally, that really stood out as being interesting, very different projects this month to think on and dream on. And yeah, I hope you've gotten yours, or yours is on the way, because it is well worth the money to get this little gift in the mail. So today is Tuesday, so I will be back to you tomorrow, Wednesday, and I will see if I can find my storybook stuff, and then we will do, gosh, I've got so many things for you coming up in the near future. It's just crazy how many fun subjects I've got ready to go. We will do maybe storybooks if I can find that paperwork. I didn't lose it. I just put it somewhere good. And we'll look at this book, which is not a rug hooking book, Stitchcraft, but it really is a great book with a lot of crossover for us. It's a fairly new book by Gayla Partridge. Let's see when it came out. 2019. So I got this on Amazon. It came the next day. It's fantastic. Let's look at it tomorrow. It's got a lot of Frida Kahlo crossover. And again, tomorrow, the first Frida Kahlo class is Wednesday and Sunday of this week. I want to remind you, our book club is on Thursday. I keep forgetting to say Thursday is our book club, The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. So I hope that you've been enjoying that book and or movie, and that you'll log on with us on Thursday. I'll put the information for that. I will set up the Zoom call now, and I'll put the information into this video. So hopefully I see you tomorrow for coffee time, looking at the Storybook Cottage and Hooked Rugs with Gayla Partridge's book, Stitchcraft, with a lot of Frida Kahlo interest. And I hope I see you tomorrow night for the class. But regardless, sooner or later, we will see each other, right? Hopefully sooner. Have a great afternoon, everybody. I will see you soon.